Hey everyone, welcome back to another lesson. Today we're discussing an important and sometimes overlooked skill, and that is mastering line work. You may have heard instructors say things like, look around, there are no outlines in real life. And while that's technically true, I've never totally agreed with that philosophy. So instead of ignoring what our tool can do best, which is make lines, let's take full advantage of it. Let's explore it. Let's figure out what we can do and how we can push the tool. Don't just think of your pencil as a tool to make marks. Think of it as a tool that will help you represent your ideas. This tool can help create depth, form, and emphasis. It's a very powerful instrument. So let's break down our lines. First, let's talk about thickness. So our thickness refers to how wide our lines are. So we can have thin lines, we can have medium lines, and we can have thick lines. Next, let's discuss line weight. So line weight is basically how light or dark our lines appear. So we can have light lines, we can have medium lines, and we can have dark lines. When we talk about line weight, again, we're referring to how light or how dark a line is, but they can also represent how physically light or heavy something appears. So if you're drawing an object that is light, you might want to go with lighter medium lines. If you have an object that's very heavy, oftentimes a darker line will help convey that physical weight. And dark lines will also often appear closer to us. So from here, we can mix and match these qualities. We can have thin light lines, thin medium lines, thin dark lines. Or we can have thick light lines, thick medium lines, and thick dark lines. So here's something very important. From now on, I want your default line value to be very light. And why is that? We want to have the freedom to be able to make adjustments to our drawing, especially when we're in the early construction stages. We need to be very flexible. We should be able to easily draw over existing lines and cover them up, or even erase lines if we have to. It's very easy to go from light to dark, but it's going to be extremely difficult if we're starting off with very dark lines and we need to make changes. Those dark lines are going to be very hard to cover or to even erase. And don't be discouraged if drawing light is tough at first. Most of us are used to writing with a heavy hand, so it takes some practice before your muscles adjust and you're able to draw light, soft lines intentionally. Let's do a quick exercise together. This is going to be a great exercise that you can use as a warm-up before you start drawing. So I'm going to draw some lines from left to right, and I'm just going to play around with the direction of the line, the thicknesses, the weights, maybe add a little bit of texture, and just kind of explore the variety of lines that we can achieve. And, don't think too much. Let the line kind of change. Listen to it, right? The line has a tone of voice. Does it sound angry? Does it sound like a light whisper? Pay attention to all your senses. What does the pressure feel like? Listen to the sound. What does it look like? Play around with the grip. So there we go. This is our line variations exercise. You'll notice that each line has a different quality and conveys a different feeling. Get very comfortable with these. I think the more expressive you are with your lines, the more interesting and the more dynamic your drawings are going to appear. So before your next sketch session, spend a few minutes exploring lines. Pull out a piece of paper and try this exercise. And just really get to know your tool. I think this will help you understand the variety of lines that you can make with it. So from this lesson forward, I want us to have some intention when we put down a line. Remember, we're not just making marks, we're trying to represent something, whether it's an idea, a belief, a feeling. We're going to use lines to do that. So let's be very conscious of our lines from now on. Please continue practicing and experimenting, making different marks, and have fun drawing.